What up, y'all? We are back for another audio occasion, a podcast for self-starters and those willing to make the most out of any situation. A lot less, a lot more roomy on the couch, we'll say. We had to get the girls out of here on this one. No shade.
No shade.
Even though Remy stepped all over my three-piece spicy last week.
Definitely opinionated.
It's good to have a three-piece where I ain't got somebody breathing down my neck for one time,
Whoa. Nah, she was all right. She's definitely going to speak her mind. That's one thing about Rem.
Oh, no, I love Rem, man. I love Rem. That's my girl. Just giving her a hard time right now. But on the lead-in audio, a little bit of motivational talk for y'all. Check it out. Let's get it.
To disappear.
Whoops, run that back from the top.
You have to disappear. Disappearing means doing the work. It means doing the work in the dark. It means building in private what you don't need to prove in public. It means doing the work when no one's watching. You stop worrying about what people think and start valuing what you believe. Because a life that looks good or sounds good is nothing compared to a life that feels good.
Facts.
So let that sink in on the way in. Big talk for your head top as we get this thing rolling, man. Where's my theme music? Let my shit run. Once my shit loads. Come on, man. All right, there we go. There we go, y'all. We back. 1 air horn, 2 air horns, 3 air horns, an abundance of air horns for y'all coming off of the July 4th weekend. By the time you hear this, hopefully you got the hangovers out your system. And the Mondays and the Tuesdays, just, we shake it out a little bit. A lot of debauchery going on this weekend for what I see.
Great time.
But we are here. We're back for episode number 62 of the EFS podcast. I'm the man, the myth, the legend, your host, Mr. D. Burke. Mr. EFS, Mr. 1% 2 times. Here to deliver you great audio, great video with my man Waldo Black in the house. How we doing? How we feeling?
Yeah, the one and only Waldo Titter.
And if you made it to the audio/video occasion, please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We love the love over here at the EFS podcast. Round of applause for the gang back in the house, man. So we'll stay this theme music out. And then we'll get this thing going. Got good combos on deck today. Not many combos, so we might not be in here too long because, July 4th weekend.
Short and sweet's best.
Facts. And the weekend has crept up on myself as well. So this is a very slow Monday that we get into. So either way, check in my boy. How we doing? How we feeling? What's the vibrations?
Doing great. Had a great time over the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Went down to the beach.
Calm vibes.
Sort of fireworks. Spent time with fam. Can't ask for nothing more, man.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful, man.
No, it was good, It was a good weekend overall. I had to dub that whole situation, and I did something a little bit more on the Liddy side, I would say.
On the Liddy side, it's crazy.
Not to say that wasn't lit, but, just the outside,
Different vibe.
Shouts to my boy Punch for the annual July 4th pool party that he throws. I've been invited to it for years now. I ducked on it the last couple years because I was in the middle of depression and refiguring out my life. Nah, I'm joking. Not actual depression, but a lot of other shit going on. So this year I popped out because he probably would have stopped inviting my ass if I didn't show up at this time. Because I'm that friend. Like, you got, the first couple times to tell me about something. If I don't show up by the third time, I'm going to pop out. So popped out, great time, great vibes, had some conversations with some people I haven't seen in a long time from the towns, Brooklyn, New York, in fact. It was in Jersey. His crib is in Jersey, off in the hills, off in the back. Got a nice, setup, nice big house. If you've seen his social media, he's not shy about showing his crib and the things he's worked towards. But
Nice.
Big ass house, big pool party vibes. It was great.
Did you get in the pool?
Nah, I ain't getting in the pool.
Did anybody get in the pool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes you go to a black pool party, ain't nobody in the pool.
Nah, it's that they was in the pool.
Oh, okay.
They was in the pool.
Say less.
Yeah, so we just gonna keep it.
Nah, say less. I got
keep it as PG as possible. But
you.
they was in the pool, so it was a good time, good vibes. Had a conversation with him. Posts, checking in. It's been a while since I seen my guy, man. He was one of the ones that was a little bit integral in pushing me into this podcast space.
Nice. You gotta pull up to the show, man.
I'm working on it. On it. He's a busy guy.
Baby.
He manages Rotimi.
Oh, nice. That's fire.
Yeah, and he got a bunch of other different things. This is my guy, like long resume in the industry. Was the DJ for Tekashi back when you know, things were still cool for Tekashi to be welcome at the barbecue and all that other shit. You know, Young M.A. back when she did a run, you know, was DJing for her. So, you know, and he did a lot. He used to work with This Is 50 on the website. Did a lot for them as well. So, you know, real respected in the industry. He having conversations with Ray Daniels and shit now. So he's big time, you know. But invited me out, went out there, popped out. And again, so a lot of other people from the towns, Brooklyn now I haven't seen in a little while. Some that I have seen, but others I haven't seen in like years, literally. So good to catch up with a lot of the dudes, a lot of shots, a lot of just shots and shots and shots. You know, a lot of other vices being passed around, so things got a little foggy, you know, towards a certain point. And then I just realized I got to slow my weekend down because I got productive shit to do this week.
You got to work.
Yeah, so, you know, after that whole scenario, I just slowed it down the rest of the weekend. But yeah, good vibe. Good vibe. Seen a lot of people out there just partying throughout the whole freaking weekend. When I realized that July 4th was going to be on a Friday, I said this year is about to be unlike no other for some people, you know, and that shit really held true to that because motherfuckers was partying all weekend. And all my clients that I saw after all the partying, it showed. Trust me.
I bet.
I had one client show up still drunk, bro.
Yo.
Still drunk.
You can't.
You know I had to get it in Saturday morning.
You can't work out on a drunk client, right? Yeah. What do you do in those scenarios?
Oh, I definitely adjusted the expectations for the day. Once we got to that point, I saw she walked in. She said, "Take it easy on me," was the first thing she said, and then told me how she was drinking real late last night and she only got 2 hours of sleep before coming here.
Yeah, but they still showed up. That's the dedication.
Showed up late as fuck too, 15 minutes late. So I'm thinking she ain't even about to pop out, and then she texts me 5 minutes after the hour when she's supposed to show up, saying that she'd be late. And I said, all right, you know, maybe something happened last night, party-wise, whatever. I'll accept it. Did not know she was going to walk in there still drunk as hell. Like, balance, toast. Like, you know, just struggling to get through the shit. So I'm like,
I commend her for pulling up, though.
I do, too, because a bunch of y'all canceled on me. That's the next thing, too. Like, a bunch of them canceled on me, which is fine. I respect that. So I do respect her pulling up, but she could have stayed home. I told her next time, listen, like, don't feel like you gotta
obligation.
Stay home. Like, stay home if you that down bad. Like, you probably just need to sleep that one off. Go home, take a nap.
That's all right.
You know. But yeah, good weekend overall, man.
That's what's up, man.
So yeah, I guess as we open things up, let's get to our first topic on the board.
Oh boy.
You want to roll this one out?
No, it's your least favorite topic. I sound like.
Who?
You. You already know you don't like this dude, man. So go ahead and say it.
I wouldn't say I don't like him.
What do you like him?
I have a love-hate relationship with him.
Okay. All right. This is you got more hate than love right now.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
You don't got more love than hate?
From career, I got more love. Recently, it's more hate, I would say.
That's what I'm saying right now.
But in totality, it's probably 60 love, 40 hate.
Oh, okay.
In totality.
In totality.
He's been around for a long time.
Hey,
so,
that's what I'm saying.
You know.
All right. Drake made his official return to the ecosystem. I'm gonna say that.
Has he ever not been in the ecosystem though? Still,
he was quiet, a lot more quieter after the diss. You already know he was. He wasn't popping out. He wasn't doing anything.
In Australia.
He did a whole tour keywords in Australia.
And posted through the whole thing. So he wasn't.
But he was in Australia.
He had the drone fly up to the thing to make people think he was actually getting attacked by a drone that wasn't his own drone. He threw the flip-flop at it. Like, we remember these things.
Oh, I thought that was an actual drone that was kind of trying to get to him.
No, come on. That was
you believe it was a coordinated attack?
Yes.
That was self-inflicted?
He didn't even throw the flip-flop like he wanted to hit that shit. Like, it was a stunt.
Self-inflicted.
So people could see where he was staying in Australia as the shit panned away from the building.
Oh, it was a humble brag.
Yeah.
Almost. Okay.
Yeah.
Nevertheless.
Drake shit.
Nevertheless. He is a very calculated individual, so I don't put that past him. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is he's officially came back and released music in the vein of
he put out the video
of the whole, rap, ecosystem. That's what I'm trying to say. Mind you, you can do business in the music industry and not be in the rap ecosystem, in my opinion.
True. But Nokia's numbers is still litty. Nokia's a smash.
That's an R&B album.
I was wrong about that shit, but
it was an R&B album.
That's true, but
to me, that's not. To me,
Nokia's not an R&B song.
What? Who's playing my phone? Who's playing my phone? Who's calling my phone? Whatever. All right. Is it Keisha? That's a pop record.
Sure, but it has rap elements to it as well.
Of course, and a lot of rap elements is all over K-pop.
We digress. Sorry, I'm getting you off track.
No, I know, but I'm saying rap elements is all over K-pop music, but we still call it K-pop.
Sure.
They taken from black folks all day. So all I'm trying to say is
Drake put out the song.
Drake put out a song called "What Did I Miss." He did a little campaign, a little run. He's driving around Toronto in his little truck. He's doing Kai Cenat energy now, which is interesting because seeing Drake do that kind of stuff is kind of new. He's always had his finger on the pulse of what is going on. He's dipping his toe into that, which is interesting. Also, he had the whole video when he's got guns on the floor and he's got the little worker outfit and he's walking around. If you haven't seen it, go take a look at it. It's interesting content. Seeing Drake clock in and just pretend to be a worker, and then he's dancing in a freezer with ice blocks. But there's certain number of ice blocks and people are trying to dissect it and all that. I didn't go down the rabbit hole. Like, I guess I'm supposed to have this like journalistic integrity, but I'm a little bit over all of these millionaires bickering. To me, it's gotten to a point where I'm like, all right, more bickering between millionaires. You guys are worse than politicians. That's my personal. I don't want to hear another diss from Kendrick. I don't want to hear another diss from Drake. I'm ready for some J. Cole music. That's why I'm like, Cole, where you at, bro? Cole, come back, please, and make some fire music that has nothing to do with beefing. That's what I liked about Cole, because he knew his place. And then he started to go backwards. And then I'm glad he did say, yeah, you know what? I'm not in this realm. But when I listened to What Did I Miss? To get back on Drake for a second.
Stay there.
Drake definitely tried his best to say, like, why me, guys? Like, he doesn't understand that he's an asshole. It is literally like, like, remember Scarface, Al Pacino? Mm-hmm. It's like, I felt like he was yelling in the scene where he's like, I'm the bad guy, me, that's all. And he was screaming at everybody, and he was just basically like making a scene like he wasn't an asshole the whole entire time. And I'm like, Drake, you know why you aren't liked. You've been an asshole throughout this entire thing. Now, don't get me wrong. You can be an asshole and still like assist people, but you do it from a place where you're in control. Anytime someone does anything that's outside of Drake's like influence, you can tell he'll pull the rug out from people and they don't get any support. It happened with McConan, right? Going up
the list
on a Tuesday.
It's not the first and won't definitely.
No, I'm laying out some evidence for my claim here before people like kick my back in to take a line from you online. Like they will take, you know, these moments and I'm talking. I'm like, nah, Drake never did that, because they got these Drake stands that just love Drake no matter what he does. All I'm saying is I can look at it from a neutral perspective. The song wasn't bad, but the premise of it confused me, because I'm listening to it like, why is he saying, what did I miss? When you know that you have this almost like this God complex, bro. You are a articulate mastermind and a meticulous individual that goes to the depths of pettiness across everything. You know what I'm saying? You'll make a rap and then send bottles to Charlemagne on the radio station that coincides with the raps that you wrote to prove the point that you write your raps, which is, again, asinine to me, because you should know it doesn't matter, and you're millionaire approaching billion, right?
I mean, if we expecting Drake to not be self-aware, is
right?
What I'm saying.
Right, and he's too smart to not know that he's a villain in the story.
I don't know, man. I don't know anymore.
You don't think so?
This whole shit just breeds like willful ignorance to me. Like, it does. Like, to go along with what you said, you know, you just are not. You're not self-aware if you don't understand why the state of things is the way it is, like, and the whole "what did I miss" shit. Like, first and foremost, the song was cool. Like, I ain't think it was nothing to write home about. Mm-hmm. You know, the video itself, tone deaf as fuck. Like, bro, You can't have mad guns on the floor in the video. You know, like it's not. That's not what we doing as a culture right now. You know, and for me, that part of it was one thing, but then on top of that, just the imagery around it is like tough guy Drake now. He's trying to pop out like he's the tough guy, like, you know, fuck all y'all, and talking about his fake friends that, you know, switched up sides from him. I seen you with the pop out and all that shit. Like, yeah, bro, this is, you live in a fake ass industry. Welcome to the fucking party. Like, I don't know why you're so surprised that people switched up on you, as if that shit has not been a possibility all along, you know? Maybe people switched up on you because of how you treated them. Like, I don't know. You know, I've said on this podcast before, back last year when all this shit was really just going on, that people flip on Drake because Drake moves funny style, you know? And we've seen multiple people talk about how he moves funny style. So, yeah, you can't expect people to, like, have a certain level of loyalty to you when you might have been the one to move with them in a way that makes them want to distance themselves from you. So that's the part of it to me that's like the willful ignorance. Like, you could sit there in front like everybody's just ganging up on you and all that other shit, but they're doing it because there's some reason that, you know, people would just that much willingly flip on you. Right. Like, and to me, it doesn't make sense that you are that smart. But then, you know, but it also could be that smart to be like, I know what it is, but I'm gonna paint a public image like I'm the victim here. So,
which is a very smart tactic for longevity.
Sure, it is.
He's trying to win the war, and he lost the battle. We can all agree to that.
But he's not at this point. Everything he's doing is being looked at with a certain level of scrutiny, and it goes back to what I said last year. Bro just should take a fucking break, you know? And I'm not the first one to say it. I'm not the only one to say it, but he's just not going to. So now everything you're doing on the back end of it is going to get looked at with a microscope. And putting a whole bunch of firearms on the floor in your video, whether it was CGI, I don't know whether it was actual guns. I'm not making that claim or whatever, but it's just very tone deaf, bro. It's just very tone deaf. Like, cut the tough guy shit. Like, yeah, people switched on you. Fuck it. Make music, bro. Make music about something else. Like, we tired of hearing about this shit now.
But he doesn't have anything else.
He does.
Okay.
He got the girl songs. He just put out a whole fucking album that with Party Next Door.
That do the same thing again?
Decent, like, yeah, that's what he always does. He does a little bit of rapping and a lot of fucking shit for the masses. Like, we know what you focused on, so just leave that other shit alone, bro. You got washed. Like, you got washed. It's a chink in your armor. Shut the fuck up and go make real music that you want to make that resonates with the people that you're really trying to target, not the fake tough hip hop community that you're trying to, like, integrate yourself into again. Like, just leave it alone, bro. That's the shit about, to me, it's like, be who you are, and I'm good with whoever you want to be as a person, but we know you're not that. Like, it's been proven that you're not that, you know? And
I mean, I've heard a couple other joints off the supposed these leaks. I think he's going to do this, like, he's going to toe the line between tough guy and R&B
And nobody
star.
want to see that.
That's what he's doing.
Nobody want to see that. Nobody wanted to see that back then when you was like, everything you touched turned to gold. My favorite Drake songs is the girl songs, because it's like those are the ones that, you know, resonate in the clubs and all that other shit.
Got me dropping my iPad.
Right, you know. But me personally, that Drake tough guy shit, like, make your cool raps, do your girl songs, but leave all that like tough guy shit again. Like, that's a certain population of people, and that's a certain section of hip hop, and you don't follow those rules is the thing too. Like, if you don't really follow those rules, then you can't toe the line, because that's why people is flipping on you. That's why people are flipping you. You don't follow the rules of a culture that you're trying to, like, get love from, you know? And again, guns in the video, it just ain't it, bro. Like, it ain't it. Like, it is very distasteful, and I know it's art, it's this, it's that, whatever, but in hip-hop, for me, it gets even more touchy, because you're now influencing a bunch of young kids who be wanting to put guns in videos and shit like that. Like, that shit don't make it cool, and it's the wrong message to send for me to a population of people who ain't got as much money as you, ain't as smart as you, ain't as, you know, savvy as you, and will just go do some stupid shit and crash out because they think that's the example that their favorite artist is setting, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my take on that whole shit. The song was I
haven't listened to it more than Rod Wave
two. Huh?
Called Best Friends, whatever. It's an interesting joint too.
That Drake and Rod Wave.
Yeah. That's one of the leaks that's supposedly coming. Allegedly.
And I just wish he would work with fucking artists like
Rod is not no. You know what I mean, he's a R&B esque. He floats in that lane
Rod's
too.
a kid though, bro. Like I'm tired of him trying to appeal to children. Like
Rod is a grown man, yo. Don't
sure, but his audience, how many 30+-year-olds listening to Rod Wave? I ain't gonna say that because I know a few.
I know a few too.
I know a few, but how many people of a certain
let me pull up
stage of their life / maturity level are listening to Rod Wave?
Rod Wave was 26.
Right.
I'm
about to be 39 in the next month, bro.
And
like
Drake
I'm
is
not
39
listening to Rod
too.
Wave.
Exactly.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not saying don't make music with the younger artists, but it feels like everything you do is for the kids. You did a whole stream to roll out this one song. Like, mad extra for a song. So you're trying to do a bunch of kid shit that's not connecting. Like, you might have the kids, so if you want to get that fan base, but you're losing, again, all the people who have graduated past a certain level of their life to where they can just see that shit for what it is and be like, yo, like, that shit ain't it.
But he has them
and that's
off of nostalgia.
Me right here, sorry.
Off nostalgia. Like you said, 60% of you still
I'll fuck with the
So
old
when
Drake.
he goes out, he's going to do all of the old hits for you, and then he's going to do the new shit for the youngins.
I'm not going to see him. Is what I'm saying.
No, what I'm saying is,
and I think he's losing those people who might have went to see him.
The general you of the 40, 39 plus.
Nah, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying me and other people like me, you're losing those people. Is my perspective. So when you popping out, it's gonna be kids that are younger and younger and younger at your show. Sure, they're gonna be packed. Sure, you're gonna be successful. Sure, whatever. Like, bro, your numbers. That ain't the argument for me.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's literally just like the optics of a grown-ass man who's 39 etching his abs and marketing to young kids. Like, to me, it's like Arrested Development type shit. And that's as,
some
non-hateful
cats
as I can
still what's the Yin Yang Twins is still going ba-dum dum 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 dum.
Right, but that's how
with gray hair.
Sure, no doubt.
So I'm like, maybe they're not marketing to the youth, but they're still performing the same music that they were making in their youth. So what's my saying is, why is it okay for the older that people get to still do their old music, but yet he can't make music that still appeals to the same demographics that they were young?
You can. I'm saying he's not, is what I'm saying. You can graduate in hip hop. The best examples of that for me are people like Jay, people like Nas, people like Killer Mike, people like.
When was the last time you listened to 444?
I have multiple songs from 444 on my daily running playlist. So at any point, I can hear songs from that. Like, so my collection, which is 32 hours long, are just songs that I like. Like, there's a couple songs from 444 on there. Well, not even 444 if we're looking at the album. The verses that he put, like the feature verses. There's shit on What's Free with Meek, like,
Okay, I get you that.
Progressive. I'm graduated. I'm getting older in hip hop. I got game. I got understanding. I see this shit for what it is. Like, let's speak to that kind of shit now as somebody who's been through it. You know what I'm saying?
But if you don't grow, should you still be able to make music that's toxic and whatever you want to call it?
You can make whatever kind of music you want as an artist. I'm not telling nobody what to do artistically. I'm saying once you get to a certain point, it disconnects from people who are around the same
growing,
like demographic, age, whatever as you. So for me, it is literally the 40-year-old guy in the club there's two 40-year-old guys in the club.
Is there?
Listen, in my example,
no, I'm just kidding.
There's one that's always fucking there, and there's one that's just there because this is his friend's birthday or this is his own celebration or something.
There's a pool party on the 4th of July weekend.
Right, exactly. Facts. So there's those two kind of people, you know what I'm saying? And the one that's always there, to me, it's like, bro, what else in life do you have? You know what I'm saying? And not to say this about Drake specifically, but it's like, it looks different when you are of a certain age and just keep living the same life. I'm not the same me that I was 5 years ago. I'm not the same me that I was 2 years ago. So I'm always growing and progressing as a person. So anything I do in my lifestyle, anything I speak about, anything I exude, and anything I want to put specific messaging out on speaks to what I've been through and relates that to what I've learned from it, or, what I'm doing now currently and getting people to understand the space that I'm in mentally, physically, spiritually, all things in between. I don't feel like that's where he sits right now. He sits in a space of like, I should be old enough to have lived, learned, blah, 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 whatever.
He's a father.
Right. But I want to cater to shit that is a decade behind where I should be. You know what I'm saying? In that way. You know, and that's just what it looks like from me as a fan, the person who used to be a real avid fan of his, and just a consumer. Like, you know, I don't want to have my 40-year-old artist talking about shit that the 22, 23, 24-year-olds is.
Yeah.
You know? And not to say you can't connect with them in a certain way, because, yeah, grab as many fans as you want, but pull them towards, yo, bro, like, that shit you doing is cool. That shit you doing might look like, seem like, and feel like it's lit, but the real gem is like this. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And more of that messaging, more of that imagery, more of that, you know, this aura around yourself as an artist, to me, is what he's lacking and why he's losing people of a certain age and more, you know?
Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to be able to get to that point.
He doesn't want to.
He's okay where he is.
Facts.
Being a gambler, drinking, partying, you know, getting random girls. That's who he is as an individual. So I think what you're looking for is something that he wouldn't be able to provide the music industry, no matter if he, you know, had an epiphany or something. Like, he just wouldn't be able to do it. That's not him.
It's
now
too
go
late at this
all
point.
the way back to comeback season, like old Drake. If you're a real Drake fan, go back. He made songs like that.
No doubt.
And I don't know what triggered or what happened in his life, but
less and less and less songs like that as his career got
as
bigger
time
and
went
bigger.
on, as time went on, he started to, I guess, acknowledge something else in this music industry or Hollywood lifestyle, and he started to become a different person, which is fine to a degree. But we have the autonomy to decide if we want to subscribe.
On that point that you said, sorry to cut you off, or he's becoming who he already was, and you can only hold up a facade for so long.
That's like nature versus nurture. Like, was he always this, or did something change?
I believe it's more of that. Like,
yeah, it's up in the air. It's up in the air. They say they show, you know, once you give somebody what they, you know, truly want, or the power they want, it'll show you the true, you know,
they
nature
say
of
money
who they
don't
are.
change you. It makes you just more who you already
Exactly.
are. Like,
So,
or success, money, whatever you want to
power,
attach to that
whatever,
line.
however you want to play it. Like, I think overall, we're gonna see in the next 5 years either the meteoric rise of Drake, like passing the baton to some other, you know, person and giving the mantle to somebody else, or him burning up in flames from the lights that he's still trying to hold on to, and he's realizing he can't, and it's going to turn him into something that's not really liked anymore. He's just really a bigger villain. This was the moment for it, but he's still somehow finding a way to navigate through it, which is a testament to his ability to just be a chameleon. But at the end of the day, we're going to find out very soon, within the next 5, if Drake can really sustain this, like, longevity, like, past.
And he can't. That's the thing, too.
We'll see.
Like, historically, it just hasn't been done.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We'll see.
That's why it also comes to a place of, like, self-awareness and self-realization that you have a space in hip-hop forever, but you just ain't going to be at the forefront.
I don't know, man. The numbers.
Again, the people that I just talked about. Is Jay at the forefront of hip-hop right now? No.
The forefront.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's in the background. He pops out whenever he does. He's like the big bad wolf that everybody knows, like, this nigga is the man.
Well, there's speculation, and this is all alleged. I don't have any insider with Rock Nation. But supposedly he's trying to gear himself up to do the Super Bowl.
Sure.
And then
Legacy Act.
That might be his time. He might drop a project.
Right.
This is
and
all.
Do that.
This is all like
do that.
speculation.
Exactly. Do that. I'm not saying he has to be like by the forefront of hip hop. I mean the nigga who's on the charts all the time. The nigga who's like he's like the forefront of hip hop right now is Kendrick, hands down. It just is.
Okay.
From all the metrics, all the data, all the public like the
persona,
the feedback from the public, how they
Yeah.
feel about the artist. He's at the forefront of hip hop right now,
is.
and he just got there. So I'm saying that even if you are the man in hip hop, you're not going to have a run. Drake's been out since 2008, 2009. It is 2025. Like, how long do you want to hold the mantle,
really
hold
had a
the
great
crown?
run, didn't he?
That's what I'm saying.
He's had a
Enjoy the
great
fact that you
run.
had a great run. Make your music. Do what you got to do to get off all your artistic expression, bro. But you don't have to feel like you have to be the. He just doesn't feel good about it because he lost and got his ass spanked. Like, from my perspective, like he's a sore ass loser. So
that's fair.
From my side of it, you could take your L and just get back to doing you, bro. You're gonna keep as many people as you're gonna keep, but just know you ain't gonna be here no more. Like, you don't have to be here. You made all the money. You fucked all the girls. You did everything that you want to do in hip hop anyway. So how much longer do you want to keep this whole thing up? Like, I'm the man forever. Like, no, bro. Like, that's some Benjamin Button shit, bro. Like, just ride off into the sunset and still be in the game. So, again, we got Nas dropped albums where he dropped 3-4 albums in around the COVID time, mad quick. He caught an inspiration. Cool, I'm gonna put mad music out. Album after album after album with just quality shit. And then I'm gonna just chill. Jim Jones saying whatever he's saying. We ain't heard a fucking P from Nas yet. Like, there's a way to age in the game and just keep it like graceful, chill, and the way you can maintain your mystique, maintain your respect, and just maintain like your legacy to where you just don't got to keep putting chinks in your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is like the artist that I respect more because they understand you got so long to do this shit. I relate everything to sports. It's just how it is in my life because it's what connects with me. I only had so long to play professionally. I'm not trying to be out here 39, these young niggas and like running around and still doing like my time is up, you know? And it just pales in comparison to, I don't know. For me, it's just, you're on a slippery slope if you just try to hang on to this.
You know you're about to say LeBron James in this mug.
I wasn't even going to say LeBron, but also it was a good point. Like I said last year, like, how long you want to keep playing with niggas' sons that you play with? Like,
I think that's what he's going for.
And that,
I
to
think
me,
Drake is
cool
going for longevity.
But to me,
the longevity status. Like, he's trying to go for that GOAT of time. Like, even across the span of this many years, I've been landing on the Billboard Hot 100, or he can say a stat that's ridiculously unfathomable, and the only way he can continue to make that legacy longer is if he continue to put out music. Whether I like the music or not, it's not for us at this point. We can clearly say this music isn't for us.
That shit ain't for me. 100% ain't for
me. He's not talking to 40-year-olds.
That shit may not get another spin in my thing. He had a couple songs he put out post the Kendrick battle that are cool, that I kind of fuck with.
I mean, I like Nokia.
I still don't.
In a club setting, it goes a little something.
It's not my shit. It's catchy, so it's transcended just being able to say, like, I don't really fuck with it because now I got to hear it everywhere anyway.
Oh, okay,
so it might pop up and I'm just like, all right, like, baby girl, just because it's the funny thing to say, but I don't really connect with that song to where it's something that I'm riding. And again, it's going to make my day-to-day like playlist, that type of shit. So again, make your music, but you'll just lose people for me. Like, you know, and on that point, like, not to knock him because I don't want to make it turn into like I'm bashing this guy, but when's the last time LeBron won an MVP?
Well, you know, I'm going to say something that is
pause. We don't even need the actual real answer. For you to say I have to think about it lets you know that
I think I think about it. What I'm going to say is
whenever it is, what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is MVP of what? Because he was the MVP.
I'm talking about NBA MVP.
Oh, okay, then that's our conversation. Go ahead. No, I'm saying.
All I'm saying is, with that point, is that even the maybe quote unquote GOAT is on the decline, and he's trying to decline in a way that just like he's just trying to play as long as he can. He's not trying to be I'm the MVP of the league every fucking year. Like, back to rap music, you only have so long to make a run, bro. Like, you only have so, and you've exceeded everybody else's run at this point, so you have to figure that it's not gonna last like that forever. And you just look crazier to me trying to do all this young kid shit. Like, when my nigga, you about to be 40. Like, you're about to be 40, and you're etching your abs to put on the fucking.
Listen, all right.
And work out too, because I'm all good with the fitness regimen and all that shit. You jogging, you lifting, and all that, but bro, ab etching, like, come on.
We're going to table that BBL Drizzy conversation and move on to another.
Metro was right, man.
Another individual who's actually tried to extend his run way longer than we anticipated, and honestly, probably should have got out the game a long time ago. But that's a whole other conversation. And not to connect these two individuals, but they both two weird dudes. So, Diddy.
The verdict is out, man.
The verdict came in.
The verdict is out.
The verdict came in.
Sentencing to be determined, but the verdict is out. And
what did you think of it? I'm just curious, as someone who's from New York, right? Understands, that there's a lot of going on in New York City as a whole, but especially with
the baby oil party outside the courthouse, crazy. Spraying other grown individuals with baby oil is a little suspect, y'all. I'm just gonna say that. Celebrate if you want to support Puff, but the baby oil in the middle of the streets is that's a different kind of,
What you thinking, bro? Come on, man, talk.
Found guilty on 2 counts. I would say the weakest of the charges that he was facing. I'm not surprised seeing the way the case played out.
I'm not surprised.
No,
okay.
I'm not surprised.
Why is that?
Because I think that they never really... I ain't gonna say I'm not surprised. I did think that... I knew that whole RICO shit wasn't gonna go the way they thought it was, or the prosecution thought it was, But I think throughout the case, the chinks that they put in the prosecution's armor, or somewhat that they put in their own armor as the prosecution, to me led to the fact that the jurors saw a lot of reasonable doubt with the things that were presented.
Yeah, it was just to me the case. And then, first of all, shouts to Brian Steele. When it comes down to it, he is on a run right now in terms of making sure that people stay out of jail. I mean, I haven't seen a run like this since OJ and Johnny Cochran.
He's gonna do some time.
Brian Steele. But I'm saying what he's doing in terms of getting the major charges of RICO off of affluent black men, he's killing it. He's killing the game. He's killing the game. He's shot 100% from the field. And
weak arguments on the prosecution side.
The same thing happened with Young Thug. It was crazy how that case.
Young Thug's case was even crazier with all the stuff that came like that. Sorry, not to say even crazier. I would say Puff's situation was crazier, judging the status of the individual, the video that came out beforehand with him beating Cassie. All that stuff made this case crazier in general, but some of the stuff that happened with the specifics of Young Thug's case that went down, it was just
crazy in the courtroom,
and the very messy judicial prosecution system versus defense. That was a little,
it was just bad.
This was a little bit of a cleaner, defense is just gonna spank the prosecution's ass the whole time. And I think this case was more of a indictment on Cassie's character than it was proving that Puff is a sex trafficker, RICO. I don't think none of that was really
I would
proven.
counter that with her character, to me, isn't in question as much.
Facts.
As I thought it would be on a societal lens. Now, as men, we look at it and see it as one thing, but the women are standing behind her in this.
Are they?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of women flipping on Cassie.
Where you seen that at?
I'm talking about this whole trial. It was women making posts about Cassie was just jealous because of XYZ. It was women talking about how she got paid for a book, so why is she trying to take him down in court for all this RICO and all the other shit. These were women that I saw making these posts.
Case.
I'm not saying that Cassie's character was on trial because Puff was on trial. So I understand that part of it. I'm saying with everything that we found out, people started looking at Cassie more of a way than originally when the video came out and we just saw that she got her ass beat and she was the victim. And not to say that she was not a victim of that, because she was. But when the details and things rolled out of the case, we found out a lot more that made it look like, oh, y'all might have been, what's a famous freaking couple? Bonnie and Clyde or some shit like that.
Oh, okay.
And then that type of vibe. And not to say that, again, there weren't some things that might have happened to her or did happen to her within that relationship that were toxic, that were abusive, et cetera, but when a lot of these details got rolled out, people started looking at this might not be just the regular, like abusive situation to where she doesn't have some kind of accountability in it too. You know,
I've seen a lot of like adulation towards like Cassie. Oh, she's a victim. When you're a victim of abuse and you have a manipulative man
it's a lot of
controlling
that.
you, I've seen
It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. I'm not saying it's not that. To double back, I'm not saying it's not that.
I've seen it, and I'm just saying the case I thought would make her look worse to the public eye, because in the court of public opinion, we knew, at least I knew, Diddy was a bad guy. Like, he's one of those, baby oil bandits from back in the day, right? And the actions that he was doing, his name was Bad Boy. Come on, like, it's in the name. So I'm looking at him in that light. So it's like finding out that he was doing stuff and paying for prostitutes. It didn't really go, oh no, I knew he was that already. So it's less of a shock. But when you find out that Cassie was like participating and like
calling
making calls
prostitutes, and organizing
exactly, it's like, wait a minute. But then you say, the first thing that they say on the other side is like, but she's a victim. She's a victim. She's a victim.
She's just trying to do whatever she has to do to make him happy. So she's operating with that as the coercion. And they're like, I understand all that.
I understand.
Obviously, the jury ain't see it that way.
The cycle of abuse.
Like, obviously, the jury did not see it that way.
Well, in some ways they did, because they still charged him with the 2 counts, right?
Yeah, because he paid for prostitutes. Like,
yep.
Those 2 things, yes. Like, I didn't think he was going to get away scot-free, but I did think that as we got further and further into the trial, it was harder and harder for them to just make him seem like all of this was, all of this is on him,
Mm-hmm. I think both of them were in collusion a little bit about that.
So for me, and it does go to the point where a few people said, and I'm not trying to pile it on Cassie at all, because I do sympathize and, empathize, me, not because I can't relate. I do empathize with women who have been put in abusive situations. I know some. I don't fuck with that shit. I think the niggas who beat women are cowards. Exactly. Like, 100%. So, again, I'm not sitting here, like, making Puff look worse than he actually is. I'm just saying that in this situation, as details were rolled out, she did have a lot of things come to light that made the situation overall look a little bit less black and white.
Yeah.
And we saw the jury lean that way. And obviously, in court, all you need is a reasonable doubt for there to be a verdict that says, no, we don't think he's guilty on this. And it just played out that way in court. And, I hope from here, whatever sentencing gets put on him, I'm sure he's going to have to do some time.
You want the over or the under 5 years?
He's not doing more than 5 years.
Okay.
No. I don't see it.
Okay.
I don't see it. From what they said, the only reason they trying to push sentencing up from October to like now in July, soon in July, after they have a conversation with the parole to see what parole could look like, after he does his time in jail, because he's not going to just walk out of jail and have nothing, over his head. But I don't think he does more than 5. I don't even think he does more than 3, if I'm just being honest.
Oh, under 3.
I don't think so. With time served from him already being in there.
Taking time served plus the...
Yeah.
Oh,
because he's been in jail for how long now?
Prostitution in itself.
He's facing maximum, was it 10 years, I think?
You know what's funny? Because I always like to look at what other people have gotten in these situations. Didn't your boy Robert Kraft do that? Wasn't he soliciting? Robert Kraft, I know that's big money talk, right? Robert Kraft of Kraft Foods.
It's big skin color talk, too.
Come on, I ain't go there. He's the CEO of the New England Patriots, right?
We can go there. White men in court and black men in court, they face different kind of stigmas.
Listen,
that's all I'll say.
You go in there, you go in there, go there.
Because it's irrelevant to our
He was
overall...
charged with soliciting prostitution February 2019, and as he was accused of paying for sex acts at Orchids of Asia Day Spa in Jupiter, Florida. The charges stem from a larger investigation to the spa.
Now that we on that, another thing I did here that leans towards Puff not getting off completely, but getting a lighter slap on the wrist, more or less, to the overall case that he was facing, is that if he was to go down for real over this shit, it sets a different precedent for how Hollywood and the music industry and everything on that level operates.
What do you mean?
it means that y'all can't do the same type of shit y'all been doing for decades and decades now. If Puff goes down for this, then Hollywood kind of gets turned on its head for the freaky shit.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I think they just get better at hiding it.
They don't get better at hiding it because we just pointed out another example of someone who's rich.
But you didn't hear about the outcome of that case. What happens?
Not much.
In that case,
I don't remember specifically.
Florida
but not
prosecutors are dropping charges of soliciting prostitution against New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft, according to court papers filed.
True.
So after 2 years of legal battles in Coin, Robert Kraft didn't get charged, even though they had him on video and he did it. He didn't get charged.
I'm just saying,
it's just a different game when
in
you're
this
playing
scenario.
in that scenario.
Robert Kraft is sports. Like
that's why I'm talking EFS. That's what I'm saying.
I understand that. I'm not saying that he's not in the entertainment industry or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's an owner that's different than a player. Like whatever. I get all that shit. But to me, the rich people who party like that, if this case goes that way, then things look a lot different for that community. As far as how they have to move, one, they got to move even smarter.
Mm-hmm.
Two, they have that much more of a light shown on all the freakiness that goes on in that community because now everyone's going to start looking at everyone crazy, which may or may not happen anyway off of this case. But I'm just saying this one would set a different precedent going forward with
hopefully
the individual who Puff was. Puff versus Robert Kraft. If you go around the whole U.S. country, I bet more people know Puff than they know Robert Kraft. If we just took a name, so that's what I'm saying. Like this person who was this big goes down for this, and he knows all of y'all freaky niggas that do this shit on that level too. It changes how things look if he goes down for real with this. Like, and again, Puff is nasty. Puff is like we know. I hope that he does get some help. If, he's gonna get a little bit of a lighter sentence on this or lighter, overall punishment. I hope he does get some help, but either way, he's still, it's a different thing if he goes down for this. A lot of people gotta start.
My question is, if he gets like a slap on the wrist, like a year, is anybody going to a Diddy concert?
Bro, the streets are gonna be flooded. The first thing Diddy does.
That's crazy.
They poured baby oil on each other outside the courtroom.
That was wild.
Like the streets are going to be flooded for anything that Diddy does going forward. Is he going to pop out? Is he going to keep it quiet and just, get back to business and et cetera? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. It's Puff. Like, it can go one way or the other. But for me, like, he's going to get support again. He's going to get support again.
You know what's funny? That because I think what's the name? I think R. Kelly got like 30 years, right? So I don't know when he's supposed to come out. You know when he's supposed to come out?
Nah, I don't. Not off the top of my head, at least.
I'm trying to think about maybe if a couple years from now, two of them collab. That would just be a crazy collab. Diddy and R. Kelly collab is crazy.
I mean, in this era, in this climate currently, yeah.
Crazy,
and I don't even want to put Puff and Kelly in the same boat either. Like,
I mean,
I don't want to crime shame or crime, choose which one is. But
I think
wrong
is wrong at this point.
Different, two different kind of things. Because Kel's was a different kind of stick too. So for me, like that's
just either at that point, all the bets are off. It's just bad people. It's just going down a list now here.
But yeah, we'll see what sentencing look like, man. I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna spend too much more time in jail. I think he's home before 2027.
You want to shake on that? No, it's all good. We ain't got to worry about that.
I think he's home before 2027.
We ain't got to shake on that because that's a weird thing to shake on. But you know what it is to me? I think this whole judicial system, this whole thing we got is Philadelphia.
Trash?
Yes, exactly my point, man. And speaking of that, since you understood the reference, I wanted to pivot a little bit. I wanted to pivot a little bit to talk about what's going on with DC 33. So, over the July 4th weekend, Wawa had a big festival ready to pop off in the city. It was supposed to have big name acts like LL Cool J and Jasmine Sullivan. It's supposed to be a huge July 4th party inside of Philadelphia. But unfortunately, Philadelphia is in the midst of a crisis right now. If you don't know, if you've lived under a rock for the last week.
Multiple crises.
Yeah, facts. But if you live on a rock for the last week, DC 33, District Council 33 is on strike, trying to get higher wages. They're asking for, I believe, 5%, and the city is offering 2.75%. But the inflation for the city life is up 2.9%. So they're giving them less than what they would need to even survive in the city that they work in, which is the biggest issue why this is a problem. So that being said, Jasmine Sullivan and LL Cool J decided to back out of the concert this weekend, and trash across the city is being stockpiled at these dump sites that have been organized by Sherelle Parker, the mayor, and it is just bad. It is bad out there. I haven't been to Philly since this whole shit started. I didn't know if you have been caught up or got a take on this, your opinion on this. I stand with the DC 33 workers on this one. But, what's your perspective, man?
I seen the posts about the trash piling up and all the riffraff with them wanting better wages versus the city, and I see all of it. When it comes to the whole celebrities thing, I feel it looks good as far as standing up for the working class and et cetera, et cetera. I thought maybe LL just ain't want to go in the first place. Jasmine's from Philly, so maybe she's a little bit more connected to the situation. So it's great optics to stand with the working class people. I don't know what the fix is. That's a little bit outside of my pay grade. I do wish that every person was able to live and make a wage that supports their life to where they're not having to, struggle that much. But it's tricky. It's tricky. I know the city got to do something, because between that and then these little niggas, I don't know if you've seen the one shit where the kids literally stopped the freaking traffic in the middle of the street to start doing donuts with a car and taking videos of the shit, and it lasted for mad long.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, people just stopped at a stoplight. It's out there if you haven't seen it yet. But
in Philly?
Yeah, in Philly. Philly got a lot of shit going on with it, man. And not to trash that city specifically, because a lot of urban cities have a lot of issues with them. New York, LA, go all across the country. There are urban cities with multiple issues in them, systemically, racially, whatever way you want to go about it. There's a lot of places where there's some shit going on. I think this one has caught wind with, the timelines and all that. So I would just hope that there can be a resolution to where the city don't look like freaking wasteland, because that's what it's turning into. That's what it's turning into.
Some parts of Philly was already hitting that level anyway.
Facts.
But
shit gonna look real third worldish if y'all let this one go on for too long.
It's going into what, week 2 now of this?
2 weeks of uncollected trash.
No, I'm saying it's going into week 2. It's not week 2. It's like this is the start of second week. Right, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, 1 week of uncollected trash.
Yeah.
I was even going on the more conservative side, but this is 1 week of uncollected trash. Y'all gotta do something quick.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna be able to do something in the time frame that they have to kind of make this work. But I do believe something has to get done. It has to. I mean, because we're gonna get into a place where the health of individuals. Did you see? This is day 7. Take a look at that.
Yeah, I saw that one. Came across the timeline.
So again, I'm looking at this whole situation as we get further and further along in this process, that we're not as individuals, we're not slowing down the trash.
That's the next thing too. Because if the shit continue to drag out, for me, what are y'all as individuals doing to make sure you're not being so wasteful?
I don't think we're doing anything.
Right. So
I don't live in Philly, by the way. I'm a concerned, individual outside of the city that just sees, because I used to have residency out at Blur nightclub. I used to work in the city every once in a while, but I understand what's going on. I fly out of Philadelphia International. I know Philly enough to feel like I have some connection to Philly, and seeing this is things got to change, man.
I mean, something has to change, because again, you can't just keep dumping trash into the streets and expect people to live and operate there. So either they got to pay niggas more or y'all got to stop putting so much trash out.
I don't think that's happening.
And I'm of that mindset anyway, or I try to be. I'm not going to say I always am, but I guess mentality-wise, I'm more of like, stop making so much waste because we're going to keep burning a hole in the fucking planet anyway. So outside of the workers issue, there's a whole bigger conversation of like, why do we have to throw 3 trash bags out before Wednesday?
Right.
You know, like there's a lot of waste, you know, and I ain't trying to turn it into that because we ain't got that much time for this shit. But there's a lot of just waste and waste. Food waste and waste of shit you got in your house that you're just throwing out. It's like a bunch of different things that we just waste, and it creates more and more trash, you know. And now Philly's suffering because they ain't got no niggas to pick up the trash. It looks good when the trash man is coming to your door every week to pick up what you put out, and they give you the big bins to fill. Maybe sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes it's a little bit less, but it looks good when somebody takes your trash and you no longer have to think about it, and it's someone else's job to figure out.
Exactly.
But as a people, as a society, I guess on the green planet side of things, like we just make way too much trash in the first place. You know, like Thanos was right. Like
Thanos was right. It's crazy work.
Some like
crazy work.
I feel him on some of that shit he was saying.
Nah, you wildin'.
I feel him on some of that shit he was saying.
Right up until the point where you agreeing with the diabolical Thanos.
Some of that shit he was saying was true.
Sheesh.
And we saw what happened after he snapped half of y'all niggas out of here. Then the whales started coming back. The dolphins started, like, you know, all the species that were extinct. Like, motherfuckers just waste and waste and waste.
Wild.
So
I can't subscribe to that.
Bigger issue. And I'll put on my freaking tin hat or whatever you want to call it for that one. But, you know, hopefully they get paid more, man.
I'm hoping they get paid more. That's all I'm trying to say.
Or have some different skills to hopefully transition to a different job.
See, but here's the problem I don't like is, like, she has a bunch of people inside of her offices that are making way more than they've normally made in the past. Like, the money is, like, if you follow the money is inside the mayor's office. And that's where it gets a little like, why is your team making so much more money, but yet you can't pay the trash people, the nurses, and the
because it's people. Philly, we got to deal with all y'all riffraff.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, copy. I got it. All right, at least you sound like you work for them.
Philly.
You sound like you work for them over
Philly.
there.
I know.
Let me find out you stand up from the podcast and a Philadelphia mayor's office badge fall out your pocket. Let me find out. Listen, I'm over here just standing with the people that are working hard. Like, trash work is not easy work.
No, it ain't.
And I think they make $46,000 to clean up everybody's trash. They ain't paying me enough. Like, I'm not going out there and doing that.
This is true. But again, hopefully you have some different skills that can transition you to a different career where
you ain't got to fight for your wages.
Right, where your worth is a little bit more, you know, than what you're currently dealing with.
It ain't like that yet, so let's see what they do, man.
You know, and I know it ain't that simple for everybody, so I'm not going to speak that matter-of-factly in that way, but it's a sticky situation, man. It's a sticky situation.
A stinky situation.
That too.
Nah, good luck to everybody over there in Philly, man. Stay, keep your head up, man. Stay strong. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to start needing a check from Philly if we're going to start talking about y'all every fucking week on the podcast.
I know, it's crazy. We have the Center City Sips now. The
Philly
DC
Sips now,
33.
now the City Trash. Like,
damn, Philly.
Y'all better start showing some love.
Yeah,
I
need
least
some
a
more
few
views.
more listeners from out there. We got a few from Philly. Not going to shit on what we got. And hopefully I don't feel like I was shitting on y'all. But, you know, in general, a lot of Philly on here. And Drew ain't even been here for none of it, which is the crazy thing.
Yo, that's crazy.
It's craziness.
He's the Philly special.
Philly special.
He probably taking out his trash. That's probably what it is.
He probably got a cape on right now, flying around Philly.
Trying to get all the Philly trash.
On some Captain Planet shit, picking off all the trash.
Hero. Nah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. But that's that on that, man. And, I mean, we can pretty much, anything else to get to? Like,
I ain't got nothing to say. I'm already good.
We ain't got no walk with me this week, man.
No walk with me?
It's a slow Monday.
It's a slow Monday.
It's a slow Monday.
So it's on you then. It's on you for the quote, really.
Quote is on me. It is on me today.
Yeah, that's it then.
There ain't no other shit topics wise we need to get to. I see Megan Good and my man Jonathan Major started a fitness company. So shouts to them on that.
Okay.
You know, I'll give them a little bit of love on that. Half a clap. But yeah, that was dope. Good.
I didn't even know they had that. What's the name? You know what the name of it?
It's called. Let me look it up
Yeah,
before I say the wrong ass shit. the company or the brand is called
I'm happy to see them happy, man.
something culture. I forget. Oh, Honor Culture is the name of it.
Honor Culture Fitness?
Yeah. Honor Your Healing, Honor Your Story, Honor Culture. And it is Jonathan Major and Megan Good's fitness brand. It's just released maybe yesterday or the day before, so I don't have much details on it, but they did some cool photos, some, couples workout type photos and shit. And you know me, I support anything fitness, health, and wellness, and especially that for us of the Black community, because I do think it needs to be a priority in our community because we deal with a lot of shit and don't take care of ourselves. And human beings in general, but, across all races. But within the Black community, I do think that it should be more of a push for us to manage our physical fitness and our health and wellness in a good way. And I look to be one of the shining examples of that with the lifestyle that I live. So
that's fire.
Wanted to highlight that from those two who are very big in culture or just, the media space.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that said, that's the last thing I had, before we get out of here, outside of my quote. But today's quote is going to be one of those anonymous quotes, but it really connected with me, and it's very short and very sweet, but also very powerful. It says, "The best fighter is never angry." I repeat, the best fighter is never angry. And to me, that really just means that in order to be that vicious, that lethal, that, proficient in being able to combat another human being in your life, you have to operate from a sense of calm, And if you go back to Bruce Lee, his whole mentality about fighting, just being at a place to where you don't need violence for the reason of like trying to destroy everything around you, but you do it from a place of like, understanding the purpose of whatever the act you're committing now, but also being able to operate within that space without being overly emotional,
That's fine.
Like as a boxer, you got to be able to take a punch and not react to where like your whole strategy gets thrown off, As a fighter, you just have to be able to operate from a sense of like understanding that the opponent life is going to kick your ass, but around that, you just have to maintain your tranquil state to be able to make the proper decisions through it. So,
that's fair.
Again, today's quote is, "The best fighter is never angry." So let that sink in on the way out. And just like that, man, we wrap this one up. A little bit short today, but again, it's a slow Monday and slow week coming off a freaking holiday weekend anyway. So we here for y'all. Our presence is a present today. But with that said, man, EFS podcast is out of here. As always, we bid you adieu by saying, guard yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and all things in between. If you made it to the audio/visual occasion, and if you stuck with us for this long, tell a friend, tell a friend. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We love the love at the EFS podcast.
Thanks.
So yeah, man, until the next time, peace. We out of here. See ya.